Hello, I'm Lamisile Pamela Ngubane, and this is the Entity Dynamics podcast. So this is part 4 of the A Culture of Entrepreneurship, Invest in Yourself series. And this one is entitled, You Don't Have to Be Perfect. You obviously know that you have to put your best foot forward when you do whatever you're trying to do in terms of your career and building the life that you want for yourself. But you don't have to be perfect means you don't have to wait to be like a PhD with an MBA, you know what I'm saying, to get started for people to trust you. You know that you're going to do your best. You know that you're going to get the skills you need. You're going to conceptualize your career. You're going to take the time out to draw up a proper plan. Maybe it's not going to be a 10-page business plan, but you'll have a few paragraphs maybe of the vision you're trying to achieve, you know? But once you've done all that conceptualization, then you need to get started. And you haven't done this thing before. So you're not going to be like freaking Michael Schumacher on the F1 racetrack, and he started somewhere as well. He wasn't number one when he started. So you just give yourself a break. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop thinking that you have to be almost like another person in order to start working on your goals. Just do it. You've got the skills. You've developed yourself. You're there. Okay, or let's say you're not ready to actually formally start your business, but start thinking about it. Start thinking about what you want for your life. Start writing it down. Some people do vision boards. Some people write things down in journals or send themselves messages or send God messages. Thank you for this, and thank you for giving me this vision. Thank you for giving me this education so that I could, learn the skills. Thank you for letting me meet this person. Just start being oriented towards what you want to achieve, because entrepreneurship, yes, it requires you to start a business with certain technical skills and draw up business plans and register a business, all that technical stuff, which I think is obvious. But I'm saying, like, you don't have to be perfect because you're always going to be learning and you're always going to be improving on yourself. And I think, it's very important to create a worldview that's going to support you as you build the life that you want for yourself. Because, we have all these worldviews that are very debilitating and they disempower people and they make us feel like we should be afraid of failure and we should be afraid of what are people going to say if I don't become an instant millionaire, but, it's not that what you are doing is being done to please other people or to get other people's approval. What you're doing is so that you can look back at your life and say, I did the best for myself to be what I want to be. I did the best for myself to feel fulfilled in my life, that I gave myself the life that I wanted, that I believed I deserved, that I wanted, that I feel God inspired me to dream for, So just one step at a time towards your dream. Even like, let's say you want to write a novel, 1 paragraph a day, even 1 page a day, and then you'll find that paragraph and that page become 10 pages in a day, So if you're a musician, 5 minutes a day on your instrument, whether you're singing or playing a guitar or whatever, and then you'll find that becomes an hour a day. Then seek out where you can get skills to improve yourself and constantly seek to improve. Read, get in touch with yourself. And also, I think we should also see the need to seek out psychological and spiritual support on this journey because, being on planet Earth, you are guaranteed to be traumatized by this experience. You can lead the most sheltered life, and then one day you turn on the news and you just left traumatized because of all the horrific things that human beings can do to each other. You can be traumatized by people who claim to represent God in religious institutions doing horrific things to children. And you're like, y'all are supposed to be representing the creator and you're hurting his most precious creation. Are you crazy? There's all sorts of things on this planet that can traumatize you. Family dynamics, relationship dynamics, friendship dynamics, what you went through when you were in school, what you went through at your religious institution, what you went through when you were at the supermarket buying fruit and someone decided to just tell you that you're fat or you're ugly or something. I don't know. These things happen and it's crazy. And it's like we get hurt because we have souls and we are supposed to actually ideally be living in like a heavenly environment because that's where we're originally from. But here we are on earth having this experience and it's hectic, So I think we need to normalize, create a culture of seeking psychological and spiritual support. And that spiritual support, the psychological support, it needs to resonate with you and the kind of worldview you're developing for yourself and the kind of things that you feel deeply make sense to you. Because we're not all the same, not all of us are going to gravitate towards a mainstream psychologist. Maybe we need to find a psychologist that mixes their therapy with paint therapy or crystals or gardening and drawing pictures or petting an animal. You know what I mean? Like all sorts of things, singing as part of your therapy, dancing. I don't know. We all have our own things, but I think if we can just be able to process the trauma, detox from the trauma, then we have so much more space in our minds to really believe peacefully with a sense of security that no one's going to come and snatch my dreams from me. No one's going to come and tell me that I can't do it because, you're able to release that trauma that you might have suffered in the past. But now, I'm a grown up. Those people don't have access to me anymore. Or even if I am still around those people, their words are not able to affect me anymore. They don't trigger me anymore. Because sometimes it's just that someone knows they can trigger you and then you get angry and you get resentful and then you now clouded in your thoughts and you're distracted from what you're trying to do. And that's exactly what they wanted to do. They wanted to distract you because unfortunately there's a lot of people who gave up on their dreams. They gave up on themselves, and it's a miserable place to be. And there's that saying, misery loves company, So they want you to also give up on your dreams, and yet, all they need to do, those people, is just remember what they were before they became this miserable, horrible person who wants everyone to be miserable and horrible, and they would benefit from therapy, obviously, So I think we really need to normalize dealing with our issues. Let's stop having this thing of, oh, my trauma made me strong. If you learned the lessons from your trauma, then that's what makes you strong, not the trauma itself. In fact, that trauma can make you emotionally brittle as, I don't know, a meringue. Okay, the moment someone puts pressure on you by criticizing you or telling you off or doing something that hurts your feelings, you shatter, you disintegrate because you're not strong, you're hard and brittle. And that's not strength. Strength is like a bamboo, flexible, like a palm tree. That's real strength. You're able to adapt to situations because you know that you have the capacity to support yourself. And that's why it's important to create this worldview that will support you as you build the life you want to live. And you just go for it. You will learn as you go ahead. You've done the work. You've acquired the skills. You've conceptualized it. You've thought about it. You know you're ready. Don't underestimate your own ability to gauge your readiness and to gauge whether or not you're doing your best. And take the time. It's going to take time. Don't listen to people coming at you like, oh, where's the money coming? It's like, who are you in this story? You don't belong here. Be out. Go. Tell people, no, don't apologize. Get out of my face. What you on about? Love yourself, believe in yourself. You have the capacity Bye bye.